Listen up, Earth Angels. Your life depends on breaking out of your shell. Mm. There comes a point in your life when you outgrow your shell. That container which protected earlier versions of you. Your shell can be a relationship, a job, environment, mindset, and identity. Those can all be, containers that used to keep you safe. But when you get to that point where where you outgrow your old shell, your continued attachment to staying within the confines of what used to keep you safe now starts to restrict your freedom, to stunt your growth, and to harm you. So at that point, your life depends on breaking out of your shell. Ah! All right, first things first. My name is Sheba. I'm a transformation specialist, sovereignty coach, and ex lawyer. And I empower women, leaders, and creators I came up with a new one, to reclaim their power, unlock their true selves, and create the life of their dreams. I'm still trying on different things. So anyway, I like that one. Yeah, anyway. So let me talk to you about this. Breaking out of your shell. I have been the past couple of days thinking about crabs. All right. And maybe it's because I have a Cancer moon. Maybe it's because I'm from Maryland. You might be a Cancer sun, moon, rising. You might also be from Maryland, like me, like Harriet Tubman, like Luigi Mangione. We love. Anyway, um, I've been thinking about crabs, okay? And I learned about the process of molting when a crab, outgrows its old shell, what it does. This is a true crab. Um, so a crab, like when a hormonal signal activates, the crab starts the process of molting. So they start to soften their outer shell, their hard shell, and they build. This is all like involuntary. It's just like a process that happens when they're growing. And so they start to grow this new shell, kind of using the old shell as a mold underneath. And then they start to absorb water so that their bodies expand. And that further cracks them out of the old shell. Okay. So once they've broken out of this old shell, they have to spend like the next couple of hours very slowly and, intentionally breaking out, coming out fully, extracting themselves from the old shell. They have to take like their eye stalks and like all of their arms and, their digestive tract and everything. They have to take it all out of the old shell. And if they aren't able to fully extract themselves, they die. Okay. So it's not just like a comfort thing. Like if they do not get out of the old shell, they will be dead. So, yeah. So once they slowly and carefully fully extract themselves from their old shell, then their new shell is like really soft and gelatinous. So they have to go and hide because they don't have a hard protective covering right now. And so they go and hide, and then the minerals from the ocean harden up the new shell. And while that is happening, they take in more water, and they're doing that so that they can stretch out the new shell while it is hardening, while it's solidifying. They can, make themselves real big to stretch out the new shell so that it has room for its next level, for its next level of growth. Ah, okay, beautiful crustacean, teaching us a lesson about ourselves as humans. Yeah, I thought that was like super, super interesting. So it tells me many things. One, your growth, your evolution, your expansion is a perfectly natural process. It's actually involuntary. You like a hormonal signal will activate when whatever the conditions in the environment are right, and it will signal that it's time for you to expand. And it's going to feel like a cracking open of the old thing, a breaking. You'll start to see fissures in the old shell, in the relationship, that job, the mindset you had, the old identity. It's just not serving as it's the container is no longer keeping you safe. In fact, like your natural growth, you're now kind of like, butting up against, getting squished up against the old container that's just too small. All right. So you're going to have to crack out of it, and you're going to have to remove yourself from it completely. And in this process where you're getting out of the old shell and you're waiting for the new shell to harden, you got to isolate yourself. You got to withdraw yourself, get away from other crabs and from the environment. You have to completely, go and hide yourself away while you are formulating this new identity, right? Formulating this new protective covering. And while you're doing this, you're also taking in a lot of water. So are you drinking water? I know you're probably not drinking as much as you should. If you are, you can always drink more. And make sure you're speaking into your water before you do it, saying like, this water fully aligns me with the frequency of gratitude, destiny, ease, perfection, magic, whatever you want to do. Get creative with it. Anyway, you absorb this water, you absorb what is, your emotions, your feelings, you like all of the things that are coming up, you absorb it. And this process of absorbing expands you. You become more of yourself, more fully expressed. And while you're in this, phase, you're separated away, you've withdrawn, you've isolated yourself from other people, put yourself in a safe, protective environment for you to do this expansion. Because if you were to do this expansion, but like kind of stay in the old shell, stay at the old job, stay around the same old people, keep with the same mindsets, identity, assumptions, the same behaviors, the same habits, it's just not going to work. It just leaves you vulnerable for other people to get their hooks in you. Oof. For other people to, consume you, to keep you trapped, to keep you stuck in a shell that just is like you're squeezed against it. You can't move freely. It's draining your energy holding on to this old shell. You can't fully come into this new identity, this new shell, while you're hanging on to the old one. So you got to make sure you extract yourself completely. Separation is protection. So don't look back. You can give this old relationship, job, identity, environment, give it a funeral. And it can be like a New Orleans funeral, you dress in white and you're dancing and there's music and you're celebrating it. You're like, oh my gosh, we had such good times in this old shell. But onto bigger and better containers. And, you're coming into this new identity, which is like the identity you came here to be, your highest self. And so you got to get out of this old shell and make sure you don't like one foot in, 1 foot out. You got to get all of your feet out and firmly planted in this new identity. All this time you're drinking water. All this time you're allowing yourself to absorb the nutrients from the new protective environment that you're in. And take your time. This is a process you don't want to rush, so you don't want, maybe the other crabs are like, hey, you never come around to our crab barbecues and stuff. And, you don't hang out in the crab barrel anymore. And you're like, listen, I gotta make sure I get fully out of this old shell so that I can, come into the new one. Because, yeah, if you keep one foot in, one foot out, it's going to be too tempting to go back into the old shell. It's so familiar. Everyone else is wearing their old shells. A lot of humans have been taught to kind of tolerate the discomfort of fitting yourself into a too small space, into an identity that you've outgrown, an environment that you've outgrown. A lot of humans have been taught to just like, contort yourself and fit into that old identity. So it can be a little uncomfortable to be like, I just want to stretch. I want to stretch my limbs, man. I think I'm bigger than the old identity allows me to be. And so this new container, this new identity is more powerful. They hold more power. They hold more wealth, more abundance. So you literally have to expand your container to make sure you can hold all the abundance that comes to you. If you don't do this expansion, then the abundance is going to come and you're going to be like, oh, no room. Sorry. We're all filled up in this old identity that was built, just over the years by, my parents, my community, the media and whatnot, taught me maybe that it's not safe to have too much, to have too much freedom, to have too much love, to have too much abundance, to have too much freedom of movement. You've been taught maybe that that's scary. And maybe it was for that old shell, that old you encased in the old, smaller shell. But this new you has been hardened to survive this new landscape. I love it. This new you has, while you were still soft and malleable, you expanded yourself and you you have made this like energetic shell now that keeps you safe in a way that you haven't experienced before. And just because you haven't experienced it before and it's unfamiliar and it feels a little uncomfortable does not mean it's not correct. It is. There is a little discomfort that comes with expansion, but it is nothing compared to the pain and exhaustion and cramp, like unsatisfying feeling of forcing yourself back into your old shell. The shell just can't support you anymore. What used to protect you now is just too small and you can't move freely. And it's starting to exhaust you and, prevent you from, just being fully expressed. Yeah. I delivered the message. So let me know what you think, okay? Like, comment, subscribe. If you'd like a personal reading or you want to go even deeper and go all in with me, head on over to my website, ShebaNewmanBlount.com, which is also a link in my bio. And go and watch more of these episodes, babe. They work as standalone, but there's also a common thread that unites them all. And yeah, you're going to see how I became the woman who went from easily receiving $5,000 every month to effortlessly receiving $100,000 every single month. Ugh. And that is because I know that my life depends on breaking out of my shell, breaking out of my old identity, out of my old environment that we love, used to keep me safe. We honor it, but it can no longer hold me. It can no longer hold this version of me, this expansive, abundant version of me. Yeah. And you can do that too. I can help you with that, you know? So anyway, and you're on the right track. You found me. You know, most people, this does not come across everyone's, you know, timeline. And if it does, you know, they're not the people, they haven't done the healing, the spiritual work, the energy work to be able to translate what I'm saying. And you can. Ooh, proud of you, Earth Angel. Can't wait to see what you do. So anyway, I love you, Earth Angels. I see you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.